Lesson 10.10, similar right triangles, an altitude to a hypotenuse. So basically what this is saying is we have one big triangle, this ABC, and it's a right triangle because I see a right angle here, and what's happening is we've got this altitude, which is being dropped down, and it makes perpendiculars here, or is perpendicular, so it makes right angles, and it creates three triangles that are all going to be similar. So I'm going to kind of make a note of that. It creates three similar triangles, which means if they're similar, we can create proportions to solve for something that's missing. And so what I want to do is actually move these around so I can show you them in the same orientation or the same position. So you see this little triangle here? I'm going to turn this so that my right angle D is down at the bottom like this. So let's call this D. This would be up to A because that's the short leg, and then this would be point B. Okay, so hopefully you can visualize that getting spun. And then I'm going to take, obviously, this medium triangle, and it's already in that same orientation where D is down here at the bottom. So we have a small triangle, medium triangle. This would be D, B, C, and then of course the whole big triangle, which is almost like you need to turn your paper almost like this and flip it, which probably makes no sense, but I'm looking at where this is the short leg of it, this is the long leg, this is the hypotenuse, but it makes it an even bigger triangle. Okay, so here's my 90, so that would be at B, and then up to A, and then this is to C. Okay, and you can see where in these two triangles they both share this angle C. So anyways, what can I label? It says AC is 4. And this is messed up. This should say CD equals 3. Sorry, because I see it on the picture that C to D is 3. And then we have, what is the length of BC? Okay, so I see BC showing up in my middle triangle and my big triangle. So what I can do now is I'm not even using the baby triangle, but I'm going to create a proportion in some kind of similar order. So you could go 3, which is like a long leg, to hypotenuse. But then I would have to do that same order in this triangle. Long leg would be X over hypotenuse is 4. That's one route. You could go long leg to long leg, and your small triangle or medium to big, so you could do 3 to X, and then you could go hypotenuse to hypotenuse. So see how it sets up the same proportion. But then to solve this, we're going to have X times X is X squared equals 3 times 4 is 12. All I have to do is square root that. They want it in simplest radical form. Square root of 12 has a square root of 4 in it, which becomes a 2. So 2 square roots of 3 is our answer. Okay, I don't always make the 3 triangles. You'll get to where you can train your brain to look for what you need. Let's try that in number 2. So we've got this whole big right triangle and an altitude being drawn. That means we've created 1, 2, 3 similar triangles. We know that A to C, so that's this whole length here, this would be the hypotenuse in the big triangle because it's across from the 90. That's 24. D to C is here, that's 6. What is the length of BC? And so I just kind of start picking out, okay, I see this small triangle here. See how 6, this would make a 90 here, 6 is the short leg, and then X is the hypotenuse. So I'm going to do 6 to X, that's my short leg to hypotenuse. Now I need to use one of the other triangles and have a short leg to hypotenuse. So I happen to see this whole big triangle, this is my short leg, and then my hypotenuse is this whole length of 24. Okay, so you're looking at this triangle where it was short leg to hypotenuse, and then I did this triangle is short leg to hypotenuse. And then you would get X squared equals 6 times 24 is 144. And then you would square root that. And remember, we're not going to get a negative answer since we're dealing with actual lengths. We don't get negative. So that would be x is 12, which does make sense. It's saying this short leg is 6. Doubling that would make the hypotenuse 12. And this big triangle, if this were 12, doubling that would make 24. So it does fit the proportion.